Hello, everybody, and welcome to Storm Reads. And today I'm going to be talking about my series for quarter four of 2024 and how I did in that last quarter. Okay, we're talking about the last quarter of 2024 when it comes to my series, and like I do with all my videos, this is talking about um, books that the series that I finished, I caught up on, I continued working on, and seeing if I can keep them going a little bit better than starting a series. So I want to always be working on more of those than I'm starting because I know I'm always going to be starting series, but I'm trying really, really hard to make sure that I keep working on the series that I'm in the middle of. So let's see how I did. Okay, so in quarter four, I DNF'd a series. I finished four series. I caught up on 11 series. I continued on 9 series. And I started 8 new series. So I think I did pretty good. I at least, if you add all those up, they are definitely more than starting series. So I only started 8. I think that's eight's probably the lowest whenever it comes to starting series. I actually read a lot of standalones, I think, in the fourth quarter, which probably helped. Although it didn't help me work on my series. Let's talk about the one that I DNF'd first. So at least I only DNF'd one series, so that's not too bad. I've got a lot of series, so I don't know. Maybe I should have more on here. But Um, I tried the second book, which was the Cursed Cruise, and I just didn't like it. This one is the Horror Hotel series by Victoria Fulton and Faith McLaren, I believe. And it was just it was just boring. The first one was boring, the second one is boring. I don't like the characters. I don't connect with them. It's a young adult. I just didn't like any of the characters really. There I didn't like some of the relationships and I just didn't like the characters. And I could care less if anything happened to any of them. And it's supposed to be where there's a group of teenagers are going and doing these kind of like those reality shows where you film going and looking for ghosts and things, and it just didn't work for me. It's boring. Okay, so we'll move on to the finish ones because, hey, finishing is better. I'm trying to make the photos a little bit bigger and everything on here so that those who said they couldn't see the photos very well, maybe you can see them now. You can let me know and everything. But the first series that I finished was the I Need My Monster series by Amanda Knoll. And there were four picture books in this series. So we had I Need My Monster, Hey That's My Monster, Are You My Monster, and How I Met My Monster. They were super cute. As you can tell by the covers, the illustrations are adorable, and it was a lot of fun. Then I finished The Incredible Dead Pets of Rex Dexter. It was a trilogy, and I've been stuck on the trilogy for a while, and I finally decided to just read that third one there. And so we had Every Bunny Loves Magic. Aaron Reynolds is a really good kids writer to me. He does the creepy carrots and things like that. My only problem was I thought the main character in this series was a little annoying. Okay, then I finished the Banicula series by James Howe by reading Nighty Nightmare, Return to Holiday Inn, Banicula Strikes Again, and Banicula meets Edgar Allan Crow. Okay, so I realized I left a book off of my finished sheet here, and I had to go and put it on here. So we have the Mr. Limoncello series by Chris Grabenstein. I finished this one. It was kind of bittersweet because I really love this series, but Mr. Limoncello's fantabulous finale was fantabulous. I really enjoyed it, and I'm glad to have a series finished, but at the same time, it was bittersweet. Okay, so moving on to the series that I caught up on. So I caught up on Goosebumps House of Shivers by reading Night of the Living Mummy. I caught up on the Wild series by Roderick Philbrick by reading Wild Wave. I started and caught up on. So I forgot to mention that too, but if I start a series and if I continue on within that same quarter, it goes on my like continued going on. I don't count it as a first in series, so that saves me a little bit sometimes too. This one I just happened to actually start it and catch up on it, and so there was 3 out that came out this year, kind of like back to back. So it was the Bonker series by Patrick Carmen, and I read The Terror in Jenny's Armpit, Attack of the 40-Foot Chicken, and Escape from the Dungeons of Snurville. And then uh, I caught up on the Veronica Speedwell series by reading The Grave Robbery, and then I caught up on the Below Stairs series by Jennifer Ashley by reading Speculations in Sin. I caught up on the Library Lovers series by reading A Merry Little Murder Plot by Jen McKinley, and I caught up on the Spy School series by Stuart Gibbs by reading Spy Schools Goes Wild. I caught up on the Scottish Isle series by Lucy Connolly by reading Death at a Scottish Christmas. I caught up on the Christmas Tree Farm series by reading I'll Be Home for Mischief. So we have the Skandar series by A.F. Stedman, and I needed to read the Skandar and the Skeleton Curse to be caught up on that one, and then the Her Majesty's Rebels by Kate Beckman. I read How to Fall for a Scandal to get caught up on that one. And that was it. So the next category was continued on. So these are series that I'm not caught up with, but I did at least continue on them. So we have a haunted library series by Dory Hillstad Butler, I believe. And this one was the Ghost in the Attic. It was so cute. And then Desmond Cole Ghost Patrol by Andreas Mendoza. And this one was Surfs Up Creepy Stuff. Then I have a double up here because I read the Kolchak papers. This one was tricky because I could either call it finished because Jeff Rice only wrote 2. He wrote The Night Stalker and The Night Strangler, and that was it. And he's the one that started the series. And that's all he ever wrote. So I could call it finished if I wanted. But there were some that continued the series. And so I'm on the fence. So I decided to put it into the continued on because I'm not caught up, but I could be if I wanted to call it that way. I don't know yet what I'm going to do, so I just stuck it here. Does that make any sense? And then we have the Last Kids on Earth series by Max Brailer, and I read The Last Kids on Earth and the Cosmic Beyond. And then Something's Killing the Children, and so I read, I'm not even going to attempt to try the names of the people that wrote this because, one, I can't pronounce them, but it's a graphic novel series, and this is volume 2, so I read a little bit on it. And I read another Goosebumps. So I read Goosebumps by R.L. Stine, The Girl Who Cried a Monster. I think that was number 8 in the series. And then I read Hollow Thorn by Kaylin Josephson, which is the second book in the Ravensfall series. And Glory and Death by J.D. Robb, which is the second book in the In Death series. And Fractured by Karen Slaughter, which is the second book in the Will Trent series. Okay, so now we're going to talk about the series that I started. I'm going to say this first one, Ghost of the Nameless Island. I actually didn't think it was going to be a series when I started it by Carly and West until the very end, so here it is on the list. Then I have The School for Wicked Witches by Will Taylor. That is the name of the series as well as the name of the first book, and it was cute. And Stein Tinglers by R.L. Stein, which is a collection of short stories, which there's like, I think 4 volumes now, and this was the first one, of course. And then the Super Secret Octagon Valley Society by Melissa De La Cruz. I think that is the title of the series as well. And I'm not going to say it again because it's a mouthful. And then Bigfoot Hunters by Rick Galtieri. Yeah, butchered. Anyway, it's the first book in. Now I don't remember. The Curse of. Oh, yeah, I don't remember, but it has something to do with cryptids. And then we have The Christmas You Found Me by Sarah Morgenthaler, which is the first book in the Heart of the Wilderness series. And Christmas at Shelter Inn by Rayanne Thane, which is the first book in the Shelter Inn series. And The Sherlock Society by James Ponti, which is the first book in the Sherlock Society series. Okay, there you have it. That's all of the series that I worked on in the fourth quarter of 2024. I did pretty good, I think, overall. My main focus is to make sure that I finish, catch up, continue on more series than I start, which I did, and everything. So I'm really glad about that. I even started one and caught up on it all in the same quarter. So that's not too bad. So let me know, what did you think about this? Did I do pretty good? I think I did pretty good. How did you do on your series during that last quarter of 2024? I'd like to know down in the comments. And I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And I will see you all in the next video. Bye.